What if I told you that just a quarter of a teaspoon, yes, that tiny measure you barely notice, could set in motion a profound transformation inside your body, a change so meaningful that it helps reverse gut inflammation, cleans liver toxins, and unlock the potential your health has been quietly waiting for? It may sound bold, it may sound surprising, but today we will explore how, inspired by the work of Dr. William Li and the scientific understanding of the gut-liver axis, this very small act can become a key moment of renewal. This isn't a gimmick. This isn't a quick fix promise cast in sensational headlines. It's a metaphor and a mechanism, one that invites you to think differently about the relationship between your food, your body, your toxins, your inflammation, your life. Because when you calm your gut, you free your liver. When you cleanse your liver, you restore your vitality. And when you restore your vitality, you reclaim your life. In our time together, we will walk through 3 major sections. Understanding the connection, why gut inflammation and liver toxin load are not separate issues, but 2 sides of the same coin. The power of the quarter teaspoon, how a simple daily dosing ritual can send the right signal to your system, initiate change, and create momentum, living the transformed body. Once you have started calming inflammation and clearing toxins, what you do with that restored body, that renewed system, that awakened you becomes everything. By the end, you'll have not only a clearer understanding, but a call to action, because knowledge without doing is still waiting, and your health doesn't wait. Are you ready? Let's begin. Section 13, Understanding the Connection. Let's start by opening our minds to the hidden dialogue inside us. Imagine your gut as a bustling marketplace. Vendors, pathways, interactions, messengers. A place of trade and traffic, of signals and responses. Now imagine your liver as the factory at the end of that marketplace, receiving the goods, processing them, detoxifying them, storing what's needed, discarding what's not. The 2 are intimately linked. They speak with each other. They share signals, materials, burdens. Research into the so-called gut-liver axis shows how what happens in your intestinal tract, especially inflammation, microbial imbalance, dysbiosis, leakage of bacteria or toxins across your intestinal wall, can trigger responses in your liver. These responses may include fat accumulation in the liver, activation of hepatic immune cells, inflammation, even fibrosis over time. PMC FLT2, MDPI FLT2. When your gut is inflamed, when its barrier is compromised, the liver receives more stress. Think of the liver as your body's cleaning plant. It can handle a lot, but if you're constantly feeding it raw, infected, or imbalanced materials, it begins to overload. It becomes sluggish. Toxin clearance slows. Fat builds. You may not notice this day to day, but your liver feels the weight. And over weeks, months, years, you'll feel it too. To illustrate, I once worked with a client. Let's call her Sarah. Sarah was smart, active, aware of health advice, but she kept waking up with bloating, low energy, afternoon slumps, and a nagging sense that something was off. She assumed it was just getting older. But when we looked deeper, we found that she was eating lots of processed snacks. She had irregular sleep. She drank coffee through the day to compensate. Her gut was inflamed. The gut microbiome signals showed imbalance. Her liver enzymes were creeping upward. She was carrying toxin load, all of which created a continuous loop. Gut disruption, liver stress, systemic fatigue, more inflammation. When she understood the connection, something shifted. She said, if my gut and liver are in conversation, I need to speak to both of them. She began to clean up her diet, reduce processed foods, increase fiber and fermented food, drink cleansing protocols. Within a few weeks, she felt lighter, physically and mentally. The bloating diminished, energy returned, sleep improved, the marketplace C, her gut became calmer, and the factory Z, her liver, started running more smoothly. Why is this so important? Because gut inflammation and liver toxin load are foundational issues. They underlay many of the symptoms we accept as just part of getting older, just part of being busy, just part of life, yet they are reversible. Yes, reversible. When you treat the marketplace and the factory well, you allow restoration. So the first point to understand that your gut and your liver are one compound system. What happens in one affects the other. When you soothe the gut, you relieve the liver. When you cleanse the liver, you support your whole metabolism, energy, and vitality. Section 2Z, the power of the quarter teaspoon. Now, you may ask ye, okay, I understand the connection, but where's the practical step? Where's the tool I can use today? This is where the idea of 1 teaspoon comes in, not as a magical lure, but as a symbolic and practical dose of intent, a moment of mindful self-care each day. Picture this: each morning, you stir into your water or your tea or mix into your smoothie a 1/4 teaspoon of a specific blend. Could be turmeric, black pepper, could be a good quality clay or liver support herb, could be a probiotic intermittent fasting support drink. Whatever fits you after consulting your physician. The exact preparation matters less than the ritual. This tiny dose becomes your signal. Today, I support my gut. Today, I support my liver. Why is the small dose so powerful? Because it creates consistency. A large protocol you skip is no help. A tiny dose you can commit to becomes habit because it shifts mindset. You begin to see yourself as someone nurturing their gut-liver axis, not merely tolerating it, because it initiates biological messages. Again, when you consume targeted nutrients or herbs or supportive substances, they communicate to your cells: we are regenerating, we are cleansing, we are resting. We look at Dudley's work on gut bacteria and longevity. He shares how simple dietary changes, fiber, fermented foods, can alter gut microbial composition, reduce inflammation, and thereby reduce metabolic risk. MMCOM. If you think of that 1/4 teaspoon as part of a daily micro investment, you're aligning with those principles. You're choosing to invest in your gut microbiome, your intestinal barrier, your liver's capacity every single day. Let's go back to Sarah's example. When she introduced her daily 1/4 teaspoon ritual, she chose a high-quality turmeric, black pepper blend in water before breakfast. She noticed subtle shifts. Her morning bloating lessened, the afternoon slump was shorter, she felt mentally sharper. Then she layered it with a 12-hour overnight fast, more fiber at lunch, a light walk after dinner. The small dose became the starting gun. Her body began to tune in to the rhythm of care. Another example, Mark, age 46, with borderline fatty liver markers and gut issues from years of sedentary work and fast food. He committed to drinking a specific liver cleansing herbal infusion each morning, 1/4 teaspoon of extract powder in warm water with lemon. Within months, his ultrasound reading improved, his gut comfort improved, his mood improved. The key is, the 1/4 teaspoon is not the hero of the story, it's the commitment to daily care. The hero is you doing something today, every day, to shift the balance. And because the gut and liver are so responsive to repetition, those small acts accumulate, they create traction. Here are 3 micro practices to pair with your 1/4 teaspoon hydration. First, before anything else in the morning, drink a glass of warm water, your 1/4 teaspoon blend. Wait 5 minutes, then proceed. Fiber-rich breakfast. Pair your morning drink with a breakfast full of fibrous berries, oats, chia nuts to soothe gut inflammation and feed beneficial microbes. Movement within 60 minutes. A 10-minute walk after breakfast helps lymphatic flow, supports detoxification, liver blood supply, and signals your body we're awake. When you add these micro practices, the 1/4 teaspoon becomes the anchor of a daily routine. It becomes your power minute each morning, your signal to your body: I am investing in you today. And because you do it every day, you're shifting the risk of gut inflammation and liver toxin overload from something that might happen eventually to something I actively manage and reverse now. Section 3, living the transformed body. So you've understood the connection. You've adopted the daily 1/4 teaspoon ritual and micro practices. Now what? Now comes the third and perhaps most exciting part, living the transformed body. Because change is not just internal, it is expressed, it is lived, it is seen. When your gut is less inflamed, when your liver is less burdened, your body starts to behave differently. You wake up a bit easier. You digest a bit more effortlessly. Your afternoon slump becomes shorter or disappears. Your energy holds longer. Your mood shifts. You find yourself moving. You find yourself engaging. Here are the expressions of the transformed body. Bolder movement. You used to think, maybe I'll walk later. Now you find yourself genuinely looking forward to movement. Your body doesn't protest. It responds. Sharper cognition as the gut-liver axis calms. You find your mental fog thinning, your focus returns, your creativity stirs. Because your body is less distracted by inflammation, your mind can lean in. Deeper rest and recovery, your sleep improves, your muscles repair, your skin looks better. Because detoxification is less taxed and renewal is more active. Enhanced resilience. When you eat something a little off, you recover more quickly. When you stay up late, the morning isn't crippled because your foundation is stronger. I want to tell you another story of Maria, age 59. She had long believed that her best years were behind her. She accepted her gut issues, her bloating, her low-grade fatigue as normal for my age, but she adopted her quarter teaspoon ritual. She cleaned up a few habits. Within 6 months, she found herself spontaneously signing up for a hiking trip she had always postponed. She ended the trip feeling invigorated rather than exhausted. She said, "I used to think my body would slow me down. Now I feel like it's helping me move forward." So living the transformed body means you change your narrative. You stop telling yourself, "I'm slowing down," or "I need to accept less." Instead, you say, "I am becoming more." You say, "This body is evolving." You say, "Inflammation and toxins are no longer the script, renewal is." But let's also be real. Living the transformed body doesn't mean never having setbacks. You'll still have days when you skip the drink, when you eat poorly, when you feel tired. The difference is that now you have a system, you have a ritual, you have momentum. When you fall off, you can step back on because you're less reliant on perfection and more reliant on persistence. To support this living phase, here are 3 practical commitments. Weekly reflection. Once each week, ask, how did my body feel this week compared to last week? Make notes: earlier movement, less bloating, sharper mind. Monthly mini goal: choose a small challenge. I will go 1 hour without my phone after dinner and do a gentle stretch instead. You're building lifestyle around your renewed body. Quarterly, renewal day. 1 day every 3 months, you focus on your gut, liver system, a clean breakfast, gentle movement, maybe a sauna, plenty of water, mindful breath work. This reinforces your commitment and reminds your body you're still in charge. If you do these, you create not just a new body, but a new identity. Become someone who respects their gut, supports their liver, honors their body. And when you do that, your body shows up for you. Conclusion and takeaway message: we have traveled together through the marketplace of your gut, the factory of your liver, the small but mighty quarter teaspoon ritual, and the transformed body you are stepping into. The question now is simple. Will you act? Here is the takeaway. You don't have to wait for major symptoms to start caring. Your gut and liver respond to small, consistent signals today. A quarter of a teaspoon daily can be your cornerstone ritual of renewal. If you pair it with hydration, fiber, and movement, when you do this, you don't just feel better. You become someone who moves better, thinks clearer, recovers faster. You live the renewed you. And most importantly, your body is not your limit. It's your launch pad. So tonight, I invite you to stand at your kitchen counter, get your glass, your warm water, your quarter teaspoon, stir, sip, breathe, whisper to yourself, I am renewing, I am restoring, I am becoming. Then tomorrow morning, repeat. And the morning after, and the morning after that. You don't need to overhaul everything today. You just need to begin. 1 small act, 1 daily ritual, 1 quarter teaspoon, because your gut deserves peace, your liver deserves relief, and you deserve vitality. Let this be the moment your transformation begins. Drink Renew Live. Thank you.